What if the perfect Instagram life was a setup for murder? Madison Harper, pregnant, famous, adored by millions, thought she had it all, until one live stream exposed the kiss that would unravel every lie. Her husband, a billionaire sociopath, her best friend, a paid traitor, her mother-in-law, a killer hiding behind old money. And Madison, she has only 2 weeks to outsmart them all while carrying the baby they want silenced forever. This is the last live stream, a thriller so shocking you won't believe it's unfolding on camera. Stay with me until the end, because every twist will hit harder than the last. And if you love stories that keep you on the edge, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, so you never miss the next one. Madison Harper adjusted her phone against the champagne fountain, making sure the angle captured both the Beverly Hills Mansion's grand ballroom and her growing baby bump. 5 months pregnant and glowing, she looked every inch the lifestyle influencer her 3.2 million followers adored. "Okay, everyone," Madison called out to the 500 guests filling the space. "We're going live in 3, 2, 1. The screen lit up with hearts and comments as viewers flooded in. Madison's smile never wavered as she addressed the camera. "Welcome to our gender reveal party. Blake and I are so excited to share this moment with all of you." Blake Harper appeared beside him, his arms sliding around her waist with practiced ease. At 42, he embodied tech CEO perfection. Sharp jawline, silver temples, custom Tom Ford suit. To the world watching, they were couple goals incarnate. 20,000 viewers already, Blake murmured, kissing Madison's temple. "My genius wife." Madison beamed, though something flickered in her peripheral vision, a movement in the champagne fountain's curved surface. She kept talking to the camera, explaining how they'd waited until this moment to learn their baby's gender together with their closest friends and family. "The envelope is with my best friend Jenna," Madison continued, gesturing to a brunette in designer wear. "She's the only one who knows." Jenna Brooks waved at the camera, her Cartier watch catching the light. "I've been dying to tell you for weeks." The crowd counted down. Confetti cannons stood ready. Madison kept one eye on her phone screen, making sure the live stream stayed centered. That's when she saw it clearly in the reflection. Blake and a redhead in the corner, their bodies pressed together, his hand tangled in her hair as they kissed with unmistakable passion. Madison's smile froze. The confetti exploded in pink clouds. The crowd erupted in cheers. "It's a girl!" Jenna screamed. But Madison couldn't move, couldn't speak. The comments on her live stream were exploding. "OMG, is that Blake in the reflection? Who is that woman?" "Madison, look behind you." Blake pulled her closer, still playing the devoted husband. "A daughter," he said loudly. "I'm the luckiest man alive." Madison forced herself to keep smiling as her world shattered in real time, broadcast to millions. The hashtag Madison Deserves Better was trending before the party even ended. Later that night, Madison confronted Blake in their bedroom. He stood by the window, loosening his tie with the casual indifference of a man who'd never faced consequences. "It's not what you think," Blake said, not even turning around. "You're hormonal. Pregnancy makes women see things." 23 million people saw it, Blake. "It's the top video on TikTok." He turned then, his expression shifting to something Madison had never seen before. Cold calculation. Then 23 million people saw a blurry reflection that could be anyone. "You really want to destroy our family over social media speculation?" "I know what I saw. Who is she?" "You're imagining things." Blake moved closer, his hand reaching for her stomach. "Think about our daughter. Think about our reputation. You're Madison Harper. You're perfect. We're perfect." Madison pulled away. "I want the truth." Blake's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his jaw tightened. "I have a call. We'll discuss this tomorrow when you're calmer." He left for his home office, closing the door firmly behind him. Madison stood alone in their bedroom, her hand protectively over her bump. She knew that dismissive tone, that gaslighting tactic, but this time was different. This time millions had seen what she saw. Moving quietly, Madison retrieved a teddy bear from the nursery, a gift from a tech-savvy follower who'd installed a hidden camera as a security feature for the baby's room. She'd thought it excessive before. Now she placed it on Blake's dresser, angling it toward the bed. An hour later, Blake's voice drifted through the walls. Madison pressed her ear against his office door. The gender reveal disaster changes nothing, Blake said. She dies before the baby comes. 7 weeks, maybe 8. Make it look like postpartum psychosis. No one will question it. Everyone saw her breakdown at the party. Madison's blood turned ice cold. Her hand flew to her mouth, stifling a gasp. I don't care about the trending hashtags, Blake continued. In 2 months, I'll be the grieving widower who lost his wife and child to mental illness. The sympathy will erase everything else. Madison backed away from the door, her heart hammering. She grabbed her phone, hands shaking as she opened her banking app. Her account showed 0. Her credit cards, all declined. Blake had already started cutting her off. In the bathroom, she examined her prenatal vitamins with new eyes. 1 bottle for morning, 1 for night. She'd noticed feeling dizzy lately, more tired than usual. Under the bathroom's bright lights, she studied the pills closely. The morning vitamins looked uniform, but the evening ones, one had a slightly different shade, barely perceptible. Madison's influencer career had taught her to document everything. She started a live stream titled Pregnancy Safety Tips, chatting casually about supplements while secretly focusing the camera on the suspicious pill. She pulled out a home drug testing kit, something she'd bought for a sponsored post months ago. Always be careful with your medications, mamas, she said to the camera, her voice steady despite her racing pulse. She dipped the test strip in water with the dissolved pill. The results appeared as she talked about prenatal nutrition. Arsenic detected. Blake was poisoning her. Madison kept her expression neutral as 300,000 viewers watched her safety tips video. She seamlessly transitioned to discussing morning sickness remedies while her mind raced. Blake had been poisoning her for weeks, maybe longer. Every dizzy spell, every wave of nausea she'd attributed to pregnancy, it was him. Thanks for watching, loves, she concluded, ending the stream. She flushed the contaminated pills and replaced them with identical-looking vitamins from her backup supply, then arranged the bottles exactly as Blake had left them. She had to play along while she planned her escape. That night at dinner, Blake watched her take the evening pills with orange juice. Feeling better about earlier? He asked, cutting into his steak. You were right, Madison replied, forcing the words out. Pregnancy hormones are intense. Blake smiled, the same smile that had charmed her 4 years ago. That's my girl. Jenna called, by the way. She wants to take you shopping tomorrow. Baby clothes. That sounds nice. Madison touched her stomach, feeling the baby move. Her daughter. Their daughter. The child Blake planned to murder along with her. After Blake left for his morning run, Madison searched his office. She knew his passwords. He was arrogant enough to never change them. His computer revealed encrypted files she couldn't open, but in his desk drawer, beneath financial documents, she found a USB drive labeled PH 2019. Patricia Harper, Blake's first wife. Madison pocketed the USB, her hands trembling. She'd never questioned Patricia's death, a sudden illness, Blake had said, too painful to discuss. They'd been married less than a year when she passed. Her phone buzzed. Jenna was outside. Madison plastered on her influencer smile and climbed into Jenna's white Mercedes. Her best friend of 8 years chattered about baby boutiques and nursery themes while Madison studied her. Really studied her. The Cartier watch. When had Jenna started wearing $30,000 watches? The Birkin bag, the Louboutins. Jenna was a successful divorce attorney, but not that successful. You've been quiet since the party, Jenna observed, pulling into a parking spot. Blake said you were upset about some silly video. 23 million views isn't silly. Jenna touched Madison's arm. Honey, you know how these things get blown out of proportion. One blurry reflection and suddenly everyone's a detective. Blake adores you. The words sounded rehearsed. Madison remembered now. Jenna had introduced her to Blake at a charity gala. Jenna, who always defended him, who always took his side in every small argument. You're right, Madison lied. I'm being paranoid. They shopped for 2 hours, Madison performing normalcy while her mind calculated. She needed somewhere safe, somewhere Blake couldn't reach her. Her parents lived 3 hours away in Santa Barbara. She'd leave tonight while Blake was at his board meeting. Back home, Madison packed carefully, cash from her hidden emergency fund, jewelry she could sell, copies of important documents. She recorded a video message explaining everything but didn't post it. Insurance, in case something happened to her. At 6 p.m., Blake left for his meeting. Madison waited 15 minutes, then loaded her to her mom. She was backing out of the driveway when her phone rang, her mother's FaceTime. Madison, honey! Her mother's face filled the screen. We just saw the gender reveal video. A girl, we're so... The explosion was deafening. Madison watched in horror as flames engulfed the screen, her mother's scream cutting off abruptly. The call ended. She frantically called back. Nothing. Called her father. Nothing. Called 911. There's been an explosion at 47 Ocean View Drive in Santa Barbara. Madison gasped. Ma'am, we have units responding. Are you at the scene? No, I saw it happen on FaceTime. My parents... Your name, ma'am? Madison Harper. There was a pause. Ma'am, please remain where you are. Officers need to speak with you. Madison hung up, her survival instinct screaming. She pulled up local news on her phone. The headline was already live. Explosion rocks Santa Barbara home, 2 dead. The second headline made her blood freeze. Police seeking Madison Harper for questioning. Her phone buzzed with a text from Blake. Where are you, darling? The police called. There's been an accident. Madison threw her phone out the window and drove. She had no safe haven now, no family to protect her. Blake had murdered her parents and framed her for it. The hunter had become the hunted. She pulled into a motel 40 miles away, paying cash for a room. The ancient television showed her face on the news, the perfect influencer now painted as a suspected killer. Security footage showed someone who looked exactly like her buying accelerants at a hardware store that afternoon. The timestamp showed when she'd been shopping with Jenna, except Jenna would swear they'd separated for an hour while Madison looked for a bathroom. It was a perfect frame. Madison pulled out the USB drive she'd taken from Blake's office. Using the motel's decrepit computer, she opened it. The first file was a video. Patricia Harper's face appeared, pale and frightened. If you're watching this, I'm probably dead. Patricia Harper looked directly into the camera, her hands folded as if in prayer. Madison leaned closer to the motel's flickering screen, studying Blake's first wife. Patricia had been beautiful, dark hair, intelligent eyes, the kind of delicate features that photographed well. She looked exhausted. My name is Patricia Harper, the recording continued. Today is November 15th, 2019. I'm making this video because I believe my husband, Blake Harper, and his mother, Victoria, are planning to kill me. Madison's hand instinctively moved to her stomach. The baby kicked, as if sensing danger. It started small, Patricia said. Dizzy spells, nausea. Blake said it was stress from his company going public. His mother, Victoria, she started bringing me special herbal teas. For my health, she said. But I'm getting worse. The video glitched, then resumed. I found emails between Blake and someone named JB, discussing payments, discussing timelines. $50,000 transferred monthly. I think he's paying someone to watch me, to report on me, maybe even to help. Patricia paused, touching her stomach in a gesture Madison recognized. I just found out I'm pregnant. 6 weeks. I haven't told Blake yet because I'm scared. He never wanted children. He said they were liabilities. But maybe a baby will change things. Maybe. The video cut to another date. Patricia looked noticeably thinner. November 20th, Blake found out about the baby. He didn't say anything at first, just stared at me. Then he called his mother. They spoke in his office for hours. Victoria came out and hugged me, said she was thrilled to be a grandmother. But her eyes, there was nothing there. Nothing. Madison paused the video, her heart racing. She pulled up her banking app on the motel computer, searching for patterns. There, monthly transfers to Jenna Brooks, going back 6 years, $50,000, like clockwork. JB Jenna Brooks. She resumed Patricia's video. November 25th. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Blake insists we host his mother. I tried to refuse the tea today, said it was making me sick. Victoria said it was the pregnancy, that the herbs would help the baby. Blake watched me drink every drop. The final entry was dated November 27th. Patricia was crying. I'm dying. I can feel it. The doctors can't find anything wrong, but I know. My baby, my poor baby, if someone finds this, please. The video ended abruptly. Madison searched the USB for more files. Medical records showing Patricia's sudden decline, bank statements revealing massive life insurance policies, and photos. Victoria Harper at a pharmacy purchasing insulin in quantities that made no medical sense. Patricia had been diabetic. An insulin overdose would have been almost impossible to detect if no one was looking for it. Madison's phone, her burner from the motel lobby, buzzed with a news alert. Her face filled the screen alongside a headline. Lifestyle influencer Madison Harper wanted for triple homicide. Parents and unborn child. Triple homicide? They were already declaring her baby dead. She needed help, but who could she trust? Not Jenna, her supposed best friend, who'd been Blake's spy from the beginning. Not the police. Blake had connections everywhere. Madison remembered something Patricia had said. Emails about payments. She logged into Blake's email from the motel computer, praying he hadn't changed his passwords. There they were. 6 years of correspondence with Jenna Brooks. The messages were coded but clear enough. Package delivered successfully. M suspects nothing. M growing attached. Proceeding as planned. Gender reveal arrangement confirmed. Public humiliation optimal. Madison screenshot everything, uploading it to a cloud account Blake didn't know about. She was building her case when a new message popped up. Blake to Jenna. Find her. She took something from my office. Check every motel in a 50-mile radius. Victoria is handling the police, but we need Madison before she does something stupid. Jenna's reply came immediately. Already searching. GPS from her abandoned phone shows she headed north. I'll check every stop along Highway 101. Madison grabbed her things. She had maybe an hour before Jenna found this place. But where could she go? Everyone she trusted had been carefully placed by Blake. Her entire life had been orchestrated, manipulated, controlled. Except, she thought about Patricia's video, about the sister Patricia had mentioned in one entry. Jennifer. Patricia's younger sister who'd never believed the official story of her death. Madison searched social media and found her, Jennifer Coleman, living in San Francisco, still posting yearly memorials for Patricia. Madison sent a direct message from a fake account. I'm Blake Harper's current wife. I have Patricia's final videos. He's trying to kill me too. Please help. The response came within minutes. I've been waiting 5 years for this message. Don't trust anyone. Don't go to the police. Come to this address. An address in San Francisco appeared, followed by, I'm working with someone who can help, FBI. They've been building a case but needed someone on the inside. Hurry. Madison deleted everything from the motel computer and left cash on the desk. 3 hours to San Francisco. 3 hours to stay alive. As she drove through the night, Blake appeared on every news channel, the grieving husband pleading for his mentally unstable wife to come home. Madison needs help, he told reporters, tears in his eyes. The pregnancy has triggered a psychotic break. She's dangerous to herself and our unborn child. Please, if anyone sees her, call the authorities immediately. Jenna stood beside him, the supportive best friend. Madison hasn't been herself lately, she confirmed. We're all worried sick. Victoria Harper appeared next, the concerned mother-in-law. We just want Madison and the baby safe. Blake is devastated. First Patricia's tragic illness, now this. Madison gripped the steering wheel tighter. They were rewriting reality in real time, turning her from victim to villain while she ran for her life. Jennifer Coleman's apartment building stood in the fog of San Francisco's Richmond district, a narrow Victorian that had seen better decades. Madison parked 3 blocks away and walked, her hood pulled up against security cameras in recognition. Every passing car made her flinch. Every siren sent her heart racing. She pressed the buzzer for apartment 303. It's me, Madison whispered into the intercom. The door clicked open immediately. Jennifer waited in the hallway, Patricia's eyes in a younger face, the same dark hair now streaked with premature gray. Without a word, she pulled Madison inside. The apartment was a shrine to investigation. Every wall covered with timelines, photos, documents. 5 years of obsessive research into Patricia's death spread across the living room like a conspiracy theorist's dream. You look like you've seen a ghost, Jennifer said. I watched your sister's final videos. I'm so sorry. Don't apologize, just survive. Yeah, Jennifer locked multiple deadbolts. Agent Anderson will be here soon. He's been investigating the Harpers for 3 years, but without someone on the inside, without proof. I have proof, videos, emails, recorded conversations, and now they're hunting you. Jennifer pulled Madison to the window, pointing at a black sedan below. They've been watching me since Patricia died. That's probably one of Blake's security team, waiting to see if you show up. Madison's hands went to her stomach. I can't let them win. Not this time. You won't. Jennifer moved to her computer setup. First, we need to destroy their narrative. You still have your social media accounts? They're probably monitored. Exactly. Jennifer smiled grimly. We're going to use that. But first, tell me everything. Every detail. Madison recounted the past 48 hours while Jennifer typed furiously. The gender reveal disaster, the poisoned vitamins, her parents' murder, the frame job. The vitamins, Jennifer muttered. Patricia mentioned feeling sick after taking supplements Victoria gave her. Same pattern. A knock interrupted them. Jennifer checked the peephole and opened the door to reveal a man in his 30s. Asian features, FBI windbreaker, exhausted eyes. Agent John Anderson, he said, extending his hand to Madison. I've been waiting a long time to meet you. You've been investigating Blake? Blake, Victoria, their entire network. Patricia's death was perfect. Too perfect, but without evidence, without a witness willing to testify. He pulled out a tablet. Your live stream yesterday, the one with the vitamins. Our lab wants those pills. They're at the house. Blake watched me take them every night. We'll get them, but first we need to keep you alive long enough to testify. Anderson pulled up a newsfeed. Blake just increased the reward for information leading to your capture. $500,000. He's that desperate? You took Patricia's USB. He knows you have evidence. Every hour you're free, his story unravels. Anderson paused. There's something else. We've been monitoring Jenna Brooks's communications. She just sent this. He showed Madison a text. Located M's motel room. She contacted someone in SF. Moving to intercept. She's coming here. Madison felt panic rise. 20 minutes out, maybe less. Anderson was already moving. We need to relocate you. Jennifer, you too, your cover's blown. They rushed down the back stairs. Anderson's car waited in the alley. Bulletproof glass, reinforced panels, government plates. Madison climbed in the back with Jennifer while Anderson drove, constantly checking mirrors. Where are we going? Safe house in Oakland. FBI protection until we can... The first shot spiderwebbed the rear windshield. Madison screamed, ducking down as more bullets struck the reinforced glass. Anderson swerved, tires screaming. They found us too fast. Someone leaked our location. Blake has people everywhere, Madison gasped. Even in the FBI? Not Blake. Anderson's jaw tightened. This is bigger. Someone wants you silent, and they don't care about jurisdiction. A black SUV rammed them from behind. Anderson fought for control as they careened through empty streets. Jennifer pulled Madison down, shielding her with her body. The baby, Madison sobbed. Please, the baby. The SUV hit them again. This time Anderson couldn't recover. The car flipped, rolling twice before landing upright. Madison tasted blood, her vision blurred. Through the cracked windshield, she saw figures approaching. Jenna Brooks stepped out of the SUV, no longer playing the concerned friend. Behind her, 2 men with guns. Hello, Madison. Jenna's voice was ice. You've caused quite a problem. Anderson groaned, semi-conscious. Jennifer wasn't moving. Madison's hand found her phone, still recording, still live streaming to her hidden account. You were my friend, Madison whispered. 8 years, Jenna. Was any of it real? The money was real, 6 years of payments, just to be your friend. Do you know how exhausting you are? The constant positivity, the perfect life broadcasts, the endless baby talk. Jenna stepped closer. Blake promised me $10 million when you're gone. $10 million to start over, away from all this. You helped kill Patricia. Patricia was weak, you're weak, but you're also smart, which makes you dangerous. Jenna nodded to the men. Make it clean. The stress of being hunted caused premature labor. Tragic accident. Mother and child died despite best efforts. Madison felt the first contraction hit like lightning through her spine. No, not now. But her body had decided 5 months was too early, but the trauma, the stress, the poisoning, her baby was coming. The contraction ripped through Madison's body as Jenna's men dragged her from the wrecked car. Agent Anderson was unconscious, blood streaming from his temple. Jennifer stirred weakly but couldn't help. Madison was alone in labor, surrounded by people who wanted her dead. She's actually in labor, one of the men said, surprised. Perfect, Jenna replied. Take her to the warehouse. Let nature take its course. Premature birth, no medical attention. Problem solved. They threw Madison into a van. She curled around her stomach, trying to breathe through the pain while secretly adjusting her phone. The live stream was still running, broadcasting to her backup account. Only 12 viewers so far, but those 12 were witnessing everything. The warehouse sat in Oakland's industrial district, abandoned and rust-stained. They dumped Madison on a concrete floor that reeked of motor oil and decay. Contractions came faster now, each one stealing her breath. Please, Madison gasped. The baby needs a hospital. The baby needs to not exist, Jenna corrected, scrolling through her phone. Blake's orders were specific. You both die tonight. Madison noticed something, comments flooding her live stream. Now 50 viewers. Now 100. Someone had shared the link. Why, Jenna? Madison asked louder, making sure the phone caught every word. Why help Blake kill Patricia? Why help him kill me? Jenna's composure cracked. You want to know why? Because Blake promised me everything. I met him first, at law school. I loved him before Patricia, before you, but he said I wasn't the right image for a CEO's wife. Not pretty enough, not influential enough. 300 viewers now, comments exploding. Call 911. Is this real? Someone help her. So you became my friend instead? Blake's idea. Keep an eye on you. Report everything. Wait for the right moment. Jenna laughed bitterly. 6 years of watching you live my life. Your perfect marriage, your perfect content, your perfect pregnancy. While I got monthly payments like a hired servant. Another contraction hit. Madison screamed, and the viewer count jumped to 1,000. But Blake never loved you either, Madison managed between gasps. You killed Patricia for nothing. You're killing me for nothing. He's using you just like... Jenna slapped her. Hard. Shut up! Madison tasted blood but kept talking. The FBI knows everything. Agent Anderson has Patricia's files. The investigation... Anderson's dead. Jennifer too, probably. Blake owns half the police force. Jenna pulled out a syringe. This will speed things up. Same insulin overdose that killed Patricia. By the time anyone finds you, it'll look like gestational diabetes complications. Madison tried to crawl away, but another contraction paralyzed her. The baby was coming now, ready or not. 5,000 viewers watched Jenna advance with the needle. That's when they heard the sirens. What? Jenna spun around. The warehouse doors exploded open. Not police. News vans. 3 of them, drawn by the viral live stream. Reporters and cameras flooded in, lights blazing. Madison Harper, Channel 7 News. Are you in labor? Is this real? Jenna stumbled backwards, syringe hidden. The gunmen melted into shadows. Madison seized her chance. Help me, she screamed into the cameras. Blake Harper paid them to kill me. The baby's coming. The reporters surrounded her, their cameras capturing everything. Jenna tried to run, but more news vans arrived, blocking every exit. Someone had called real paramedics. Someone had called the actual police. Viewer count, 50,000 and climbing. The lead paramedic knelt beside Madison. How far apart are the contractions? 2 minutes, maybe less. It's too early. We've got you. They lifted her onto a gurney. You're going to be okay. But Jenna hadn't given up. As they loaded Madison into the ambulance, Jenna pushed past reporters, flashing a badge. I'm her healthcare proxy. I need to ride with her. No, Madison screamed. She's trying to kill me. Check the live stream. But the paramedic was already closing the doors. Madison found herself locked in the ambulance with Jenna and a single EMT who looked confused. Drive, Jenna told the EMT, showing him a gun. Not to the hospital, to the dock. The EMT's hands shook as he started the engine. Madison's phone had fallen, but it was still recording, still streaming. Now 100,000 viewers watched the inside of an ambulance roof. "You're insane," Madison gasped between contractions. "Everyone saw you. Everyone saw a concerned friend trying to help." Jenna prepared the insulin syringe again. Tragic what happens next. Ambulance hijacked by unknown assailant. You and the baby found dead. I'll be the sole survivor, traumatized but alive. The EMT drove toward the waterfront, siren silent. Madison felt the baby crowning, her body acting without her permission. She grabbed the nearest weapon, medical scissors from the supply drawer. When Jenna leaned close with the needle, Madison struck. The scissors found their mark in Jenna's shoulder. She screamed, dropping the syringe as blood spurted across the ambulance walls. Madison grabbed the gun as it fell, her hands slick with amniotic fluid and blood. "Stop the ambulance," Madison commanded the EMT, but he was paralyzed with fear. Jenna lunged for the gun despite her injury. They fought, two women locked in desperate combat while Madison's body tried to deliver a baby. The live stream captured audio, grunts, screams, the sound of struggle. The ambulance swerved. Madison's finger found the trigger. The shot was deafening in the enclosed space. Jenna collapsed, clutching her thigh. Not a fatal wound, but enough to stop her. "Pull over," Madison screamed at the EMT. He yanked the wheel right, sending the ambulance careening into a harbor parking lot. The vehicle struck a concrete barrier and flipped, rolling once before landing on its side. Madison found herself pressed against the sidewall, turned floor, contractions coming continuously now. The baby was coming, whether she was ready or not. Jenna moaned nearby, both women too injured to continue fighting. "Please," Madison begged the EMT, who was miraculously conscious, "help me deliver my baby." The young man, barely 25, scrambled over. "I'm not qualified. I'm just a trainee." "You're what I have." Madison felt the overwhelming urge to push. "Please." The EMT grabbed clean towels, gloves, anything sterile he could find in the overturned ambulance. Outside, sirens wailed. The live stream viewer count hit 500,000 as word spread across social media. Madison Harper was giving birth in a crashed ambulance while fighting for her life. "I can see the head," the EMT said, his voice shaking. "Push on the next contraction." Madison pushed, screaming. The pain was unlike anything she'd ever experienced. Jenna tried to move towards them, dragging her wounded leg. "Stay back!" The EMT surprised everyone by grabbing a scalpel. "I won't let you hurt her." Through her pain, Madison felt a moment of pure human connection. This stranger was risking everything to protect her. 3 pushes, 3 eternities of agony. Then, a cry, weak but real. "It's a girl," the EMT whispered, wrapping the tiny premature baby in towels. "She's breathing." Madison sobbed as he placed her daughter on her chest. So small, so fragile, but alive. The ambulance doors were wrenched open. Real police this time, followed by more news crews. The scene they found was surreal. Madison holding her newborn, Jenna bleeding and defeated, the young EMT standing guard with a scalpel. "Madison Harper, you're under arrest for," the officer began. "Check the live stream," someone in the crowd shouted. 800,000 people just watched Jenna Brooks confess to murder. The officer paused, his partner already pulling up the stream on his phone. They watched Jenna's confession, the attempted murder, all of it captured and broadcast to the world. Blake arrived then, stepping out of his Bentley with practiced concern. "My wife, is she?" He stopped when he saw Madison conscious, holding their daughter. The cameras turned to him. "Mr. Harper," a reporter shouted, "your wife's live stream shows Jenna Brooks claiming you paid her to kill Madison. Comment?" Blake's mask slipped for just a second, pure rage flashing across his features. Then the politician's smile returned. "My wife is clearly suffering from postpartum psychosis. These accusations are—" "Blake." Victoria Harper emerged from another car, her aristocratic bearing intact despite the chaos. "Enough." She walked past her son to Madison's gurney. For a moment, the two women stared at each other. The mother who'd raised a monster and the wife who'd survived him. Patricia was weak, Victoria said quietly, too low for the cameras. You're not. Then louder for the media. I'm taking my son home. He needs rest. This has been traumatic for everyone. But the police had other ideas. Blake Harper, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder. This is ridiculous. We have the live stream, Mr. Harper. Your employee just confessed to acting on your orders. As they cuffed Blake, Madison felt a strange calm descend. It was over. She'd survived. Then she heard the click of a gun being cocked. Agent Anderson stood behind Victoria, blood still dripping from his head wound. But something was wrong. His eyes were cold, calculating. Everyone stay calm, Anderson said, pressing the gun to Victoria's head. Madison, bring the baby. We're leaving. John? Madison was confused. What are you doing? What I've been doing for 3 years. His smile was predatory, playing everyone. Blake thought he was clever, hiring Jenna. But I've been working this angle longer. Patricia's death was my idea. This whole thing, my design. The cameras captured everything as Anderson revealed the truth. You killed Patricia? Madison clutched her newborn daughter tighter, the baby's weight barely 5 pounds in her arms. Anderson kept the gun pressed to Victoria's temple, using her as a shield against the dozens of police officers who had their weapons drawn. The news cameras rolled, broadcasting the standoff live to millions. I didn't kill her personally, Anderson corrected, but I suggested the method to Victoria. Insulin overdose, virtually undetectable if done right. Patricia was investigating Blake's company, getting too close to uncovering the real operation. What operation? Madison's mind raced, trying to understand. Blake thinks he's a tech genius, but he's just a front. His company launders money for cartels, terrorists, anyone who pays enough. The FBI has known for years, but we needed someone on the inside. I volunteered. Victoria spoke through gritted teeth. You said you were protecting Blake. I said what you needed to hear. Anderson adjusted his grip. Just like I told Patricia I'd help her escape. Just like I told Jennifer her sister's death would be avenged. Everyone hears what they want. The pieces clicked into place for Madison. You're not trying to stop Blake. You're trying to take over his operation. Smart girl. With Blake in prison and you dead, I'd have the control of everything. The company, the connections, the money. 3 years of groundwork about to pay off. But the live stream? Everyone's watching? Perfect. Murder-suicide. Crazed FBI agent, driven mad by the case. Kills the mother and baby, then himself. Tragic, but neat. Anderson started backing toward a police cruiser, dragging Victoria. Move or I paint her brains on the pavement. Madison stood on shaking legs, her body screaming from the trauma of birth. The EMT tried to stop her, but she pushed forward. You're forgetting something, John. What's that? Madison held up her phone. I'm still streaming, 2 million viewers now. You just confessed to everything. Doesn't matter if you're dead. But Jennifer's not dead. Madison smiled through her pain. She's been recording from the hospital this whole time. Split screen, John. Everyone can see both feeds. Anderson's eyes flicked to the nearest news monitor. Sure enough, Jennifer was on screen from her hospital bed, very much alive and talking to real FBI agents. Agent Anderson went rogue 3 years ago. Jennifer was saying, we've been tracking him, building a case. He thought he was playing everyone, but we knew. We just needed him to reveal the full network. Anderson's composure cracked. You're lying. Check your pocket, Madison said. The one where you keep your burner phone. Anderson's free hand went to his pocket, automatically. The phone was buzzing with an emergency alert. FBI warrant issued. John Anderson, armed and dangerous. In that split second of distraction, Victoria acted. The elderly woman might have been 65, but she was Harper Steele. She drove her elbow into Anderson's ribs and twisted away. The gun fired, the shot going wide. Chaos erupted. Police swarmed Anderson. Madison collapsed back onto the gurney, her daughter crying against her chest. Blake watched from the police car, his empire crumbling in real time. But Victoria Harper wasn't done. She walked through the chaos like she owned it, approaching Madison with something in her hand, a USB drive. Everything, Victoria said quietly. Every crime, every payment, every body. Blake's and mine. Anderson's too. I've been recording him for months. Why 20? Because Patricia was pregnant. Victoria's composure finally cracked. I didn't know until after. Blake told me she was lying about the baby, that it wasn't his. I believe my son. I helped him kill a pregnant woman. She looked at Madison's daughter. I won't make that mistake twice, Victoria turned to the cameras. I killed Patricia Harper. I helped my son attempt to kill Madison Harper. I confessed to everything. The police moved in, but Victoria held up her hand. One more thing. She looked directly at Blake. Your father's death wasn't a heart attack. You asked me to increase his medication. Remember? For his own good, you said. You've been a killer since you were 17. Blake erupted, fighting against his handcuffs, screaming denials. The cameras caught it all. As they led Victoria away, she stopped beside Madison one last time. The baby's middle name should be Patricia. She deserves to be remembered. Madison nodded, too exhausted to speak. The EMT who delivered her daughter leaned close. Ambulance is ready. Real one this time? We need to get you both to the hospital. As they loaded her in, properly this time, Madison looked at the scene. Blake in custody, Jenna arrested, Anderson unconscious and cuffed. Victoria confessing. Her phone showed 3 million viewers. The hashtags were trending worldwide. Hashtag Madison survived, hash justice for Patricia, hash baby Harper lives. But something felt wrong. Too neat, too convenient. That's when she noticed Scarlett Rose, Blake's mistress, standing at the edge of the crowd. The redhead was filming everything on her phone, but not like a spectator, like someone documenting their investment. The hospital room should have felt safe. Guards at the door, Madison's daughter in the NICU under constant watch, media camping outside. But Madison couldn't shake the feeling that something was unfinished. Jennifer sat in the visitor's chair, her arm in a sling from the crash. You saved us both, she said. Patricia would be so proud. Would she? Madison adjusted her position, everything still hurting. We got justice, but at what cost? My parents are dead. Patricia's still dead. My daughter almost died. But she didn't. You didn't. And Blake's going to prison for life. A knock interrupted them. A nurse entered, red hair tucked under her cap, familiar features. Scarlett Rose. Madison's hand went to the call button, but Scarlett held up her hands. I'm not here to hurt you. Quite the opposite. How did you... I've been volunteering here for months, long before I met Blake. That's actually how we met. Charity Hospital Gala. Scarlett closed the door behind her. We need to talk before the FBI realizes what really happened. Jennifer stood, protective. Madison's been through enough. Sit down. Scarlett's voice carried unexpected authority. You want the whole truth? The real truth? Anderson was right about one thing. Blake's company is a front, but not for cartels. She pulled out a badge. CIA. Madison's exhaustion evaporated. You're CIA? Deep cover for 2 years. Blake Harper's operation doesn't launder money. It traffics information. State secrets, defense contracts, classified intel. He sells to the highest bidder. Then why not just arrest him? Because we needed his contact list. Every buyer, every seller. Anderson wasn't eyed FBI. He was a foreign agent trying to take over Blake's network. We let him think he was winning. Madison's head spun. So Patricia was getting too close to the truth. Victoria killed her, yes, but on Blake's orders. He couldn't risk exposure, not when he was about to land a deal selling nuclear submarine blueprints to North Korea. The gender reveal, Madison said slowly. You kissing Blake. That was staged. We needed Blake distracted, emotional, making mistakes. Nothing makes a narcissist sloppier than public humiliation. Scarlett moved to the window, checking sightlines. Your live stream did more than save your life. It exposed the entire network. Every associate, every contact, all trying to distance themselves from Blake. They're making deals with us as we speak. Jennifer laughed bitterly. So Madison was bait. Madison was perfect, Scarlett corrected. Famous enough that Blake couldn't just disappear her. Smart enough to survive, connected enough that millions would watch. She turned back to Madison. Your influencer status saved your life. Blake underestimated the power of social media. My parents, we didn't know about that. I'm sorry. Blake went off script when you took Patricia's USB. That was real panic, real murder. Scarlett's expression softened slightly, but their sacrifice exposed him completely. The explosion used military-grade materials, Blake's secret inventory. That one mistake connected him to 12 other cases. Madison felt numb. So everyone was using everyone, except you. You were the only genuine person in this whole operation. That's why you survived. Scarlett checked her phone. I have 2 minutes before I need to disappear. Officially, I was never here. Scarlett Rose never existed. Wait, Madison grabbed her arm. Jenna, was she part of this? Jenna Brooks was exactly what she seemed, a greedy, jealous woman who sold her soul for money. Sometimes the simple answer is the right one. Scarlett paused at the door. Your daughter's going to be fine, by the way. The doctors were worried about her lungs, but she's a fighter, like her mother. How do you know? Because I've been monitoring her all night. Guardian angel orders. Scarlett smiled. Take care, Madison. You've earned your happy ending. She left, and within seconds, different nurses appeared, real ones, Madison hoped. They brought news that her daughter was stable, breathing on her own, ready for skin-to-skin contact. An hour later, Madison held her tiny fighter while Jennifer dozed in the chair. The door opened again. This time, legitimate FBI agents with a woman in a suit. Mrs. Harper, I'm Director Mary Thompson, FBI, the real FBI. She showed her credentials. We need to debrief you, but first, Blake Harper has requested to see his daughter. He has parental rights until convicted. No, Madison's arms tightened around the baby. We can deny him, but we need your official statement. Everything, from the beginning. Madison looked at her daughter, Patricia Jennifer Harper, 5 pounds of survival and hope. Get me a camera, Madison said. If we're doing this, we're doing it live. No more secrets, no more lies. The world deserves the truth. Director Thompson hesitated. That's not protocol. Protocol got Patricia killed. Protocol almost got me killed. We do this my way, or I lawyer up and tell my 3 million followers that the FBI is silencing me. Thompson smiled. You really are a fighter. Fine, live statement, but we control the questions. As they set up the camera, Madison's phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. The real puppet master is still out there. Check Blake's mother's maiden name. S. Madison stared at the message as Director Thompson's team set up cameras. Victoria Harper's maiden name. Why hadn't she thought to check that before? 5 minutes until we go live, a technician announced. Madison quickly searched on her phone. Victoria Harper, née Victoria Rothschild. The name hit like ice water. The Rothschild crime family, East Coast royalty and organized crime for 3 generations. They'd supposedly gone legitimate in the 90s, but everyone knew better. Director Thompson, Madison called out, we have a problem. Thompson approached, and Madison showed her the search results. The director's face went pale. If Victoria is a Rothschild, then Blake inherited more than just his mother's eyes. Madison connected the dots rapidly. The trafficking network, the connections, the ability to buy judges and cops. It was never Blake's operation, it was Victoria's. Thompson grabbed her phone, barking orders. Pull Victoria Harper into isolation now. No visitors, no calls, no lawyers until... What do you mean she's gone? Madison's blood chilled. Gone? She posted bail an hour ago. A judge we've never heard of signed the order. Thompson was already moving. We need to get you somewhere safe. No. Madison stood, still holding Patricia. I'm done running. We go live now. If Victoria wants to play, let's play. The cameras rolled. 3.5 million viewers tuned in immediately. Madison faced the lens, her daughter visible in her arms, and told everything. The poisoning, the murder attempts, Patricia's death. But then she went further. Victoria Harper is really Victoria Rothschild, heir to a crime empire. She used her son as a front, but she's the real power. And right now, she's free because A corrupt judge took her money. The viewer count exploded. 5 million, 7, 10 comments flooded in, including GPS sightings of Victoria's car heading north. Madison continued, "She killed Patricia and her unborn child. She tried to kill me and my daughter. But here's what Victoria doesn't know. I have her confession recorded. And I have something else." She held up Patricia's USB. Patricia didn't just record videos. She copied Victoria's files. 20 years of crimes, all documented. "If anything happens to me or my daughter, this goes to every news outlet in the world." Director Thompson tried to stop her, but Madison kept going. "Victoria, I know you're watching. You have 1 hour to turn yourself in. After that, I release everything. Every murder, every bribe, every secret you thought was buried with Patricia." The live stream exploded, and after 1 hour began trending. News stations picked up the feed. The FBI's phones rang nonstop. 40 minutes passed, then Madison's phone buzzed, Victoria calling. Madison answered on speaker, letting the world hear. "You clever girl." Victoria's voice was calm. "You remind me of myself at your age. I'm nothing like you. Aren't you? You survived my son. You outplayed Anderson. You turned the media into your weapon. That's pure Rothschild instinct. What do you want, Victoria?" "To make a deal. Meet me. Alone. I'll confess to everything, but only to you." "The FBI won't allow—" "The FBI doesn't control you, Madison. You've proven that. Marina, Pier 47. Come alone or I disappear forever." The line went dead. Thompson immediately objected. "Absolutely not. It's a trap." But Madison was already standing. "Give me a wire. I'll get your confession. You just gave birth 12 hours ago, and she tried to kill my baby." Madison's voice was steel. "I'm ending this." They couldn't stop her, not with 12 million people watching, demanding justice. Madison left Patricia with Jennifer and an army of guards. She drove to the marina, her body screaming with every movement, of unmarked FBI cars following at a distance. Victoria waited at the end of Pier 47, elegant even now. The sun was setting behind her, painting the water red. "No wire," Victoria said as Madison approached. "I'll know." Madison removed the FBI wire and threw it in the water, but she kept her phone still streaming. 15 million watching, Madison said. "Say what you need to say." Victoria smiled. "You want the truth? Blake was weak. His father was weak. Men always are. But you're strong. You could run the empire better than Blake ever could." "I don't want your empire." "No, with your influence, your intelligence, you could rule the world, Madison. I'm offering you everything. The money, the power, the connections. All yours. In exchange for what? Raise my granddaughter to be like us. Strong, ruthless, a true Rothschild." Victoria stepped closer. "Let Blake rot in prison. Let the others think they've won. But you and I will know the truth. The empire continues through the female line, as it always should have." Madison felt the weight of the moment. 15 million witnesses to Victoria's attempted corruption. "You know what Patricia said in her last video?" Madison asked. Victoria's composure flickered. "She said she forgave you. Even as she was dying, she forgave you for choosing Blake over her." Madison's voice broke. "She loved you both that much." For the first time, Victoria Harper cracked completely. She fell to her knees sobbing, the iron matriarch finally broken by the one thing she couldn't control: forgiveness. "I killed her. I killed my daughter-in-law and grandchild for a son who never loved anyone but himself." "Yes," Madison said quietly. "You did." The confession poured out. Every crime, every murder, every horrible choice. 15 million people watched Victoria Rothschild destroy her own empire with the truth. 6 months later, Madison stood in the courthouse hallway, Patricia sleeping peacefully in her carrier. 6 months old now, healthy and perfect, having beaten every odd stacked against her. The bailiff opened the door. "The verdict is in." The courtroom was packed. Media, survivors of Blake's crimes, FBI agents, and in the defendant's box, Blake Harper in an orange jumpsuit, no longer the polished CEO. Prison hadn't been kind to him. On the count of murder in the first degree of Patricia Harper, we find the defendant guilty. On the count of conspiracy to murder Madison Harper, guilty. On the count of conspiracy to murder James and Linda Sullivan, guilty. The list went on. 37 counts, all guilty, life without parole, consecutive sentences, ensuring Blake would die in prison. Blake stared at Madison as they led him away. She held his gaze, unflinching until he disappeared. Outside the courthouse, Jennifer waited with someone Madison hadn't expected. Agent John Anderson, in custody, but present to testify. His deal with prosecutors had reduced his sentence to 20 years. "Madison," he called out, "I need you to know something." She paused, protective of Patricia. "Your parents' house. I tried to warn them. I called, but Blake had already." Anderson's facade cracked. "I'm not a good man, but I didn't want innocents to die." Madison studied his face, searching for truth. Patricia was innocent. Patricia was going to expose everything. Your parents were just... He struggled for words. Collateral damage, Blake decided on. Not my call. Madison turned away. Some confessions didn't deserve forgiveness. The media surrounded her, but she pushed through to a small cafe where Director Thompson waited. "It's over," Thompson said. "Blake's network is dismantled. Victoria died in federal custody last week. Heart attack. Real one, we checked thoroughly." Madison wasn't surprised. Victoria had nothing left to live for after her confession. "There's one more thing," Thompson continued. "Jenna Brooks was killed in prison yesterday. Apparently she owed the wrong people money." Another thread severed. Madison felt nothing, not relief, not sadness, just emptiness where 8 years of friendship should have been. What about Scarlett, or whoever she really was? Never existed as far as our records show. Thompson smiled slightly. But someone anonymously funded a trust for Patricia. $5 million, accessible when she turns 18. Madison's phone buzzed. Her followers wanted an update. They'd been with her through everything, after all. She positioned the camera, Patricia visible in her arms. "Hey everyone, Madison here with the final update." She took a breath. "We won. Blake Harper will never hurt anyone again. Victoria Rothschild's empire is destroyed. Patricia Harper finally has justice." The comments flooded in, hearts, celebration, tears of joy from survivors who'd found strength in Madison's story. "But I need to tell you something," Madison continued. "This is my last live stream. My daughter and I are disappearing for a while. We need to heal, to build a life without cameras, without fear. You saved us with your witness, your support, your refusal to let them silence us. But now we need privacy." 20 million viewers watched as Madison Harper signed off for the last time. "Thank you for believing me. Thank you for standing with me. And to anyone out there in a situation like mine, document everything, trust your instincts, and never stop fighting. Your life matters. Your story matters." She ended the stream and deleted her accounts. All of them, 1 year later. The small coastal town in Oregon didn't know Madison Sullivan as anyone special. Just a young mother who'd moved there to start fresh, working at the local library, raising her daughter alone. Patricia had her father's eyes but her mother's spirit. Fierce, determined, unstoppable. Madison was shelving books when a familiar face appeared. The young EMT who delivered Patricia in the ambulance. Ryan, she'd learn later. "I've been looking for you for a year," he said quietly. "How did you find me?" "I didn't. I moved here for a fresh start too. Imagine my surprise." He smiled. "How's your daughter?" "Growing too fast. Walking already, if you can believe it." They talked between the stacks, two survivors of the worst day finding something unexpected. "Peace, was. Would you maybe want to get coffee sometime?" Ryan asked. "Just coffee. No pressure." Madison considered. For a year, she'd been alone by choice, building walls to protect Patricia. But walls could also be prisons. "I know a place," she said. "But I need you to understand, my daughter comes first, always. I wouldn't respect you if she didn't." They had coffee, then dinner, then walks on the beach with Patricia babbling in her stroller. Slowly, carefully, Madison learned to trust again. The night Patricia spoke her first word, "Mama," Madison cried, not from sadness, but from joy. They'd survived. They'd won. They were free. Her phone, now used only for emergencies and photos of Patricia, buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Saw the verdict, anniversary news, you look happy. Stay safe. S. Madison deleted it and turned off the phone. The past was finished. The future stretched ahead, uncertain but theirs. That night, she told Patricia a bedtime story about a brave princess who defeated a dragon and saved herself. Patricia laughed, reaching for her mother's face with chubby hands. You're going to be strong, Madison whispered. But more than that, you're going to be kind. You're going to be good. You're going to be everything they weren't. Patricia fell asleep smiling. Outside their window, the ocean continued its eternal rhythm. Somewhere, Blake Harper stared at prison walls. Victoria Rothschild lay in an unmarked grave. Patricia Harper rested in peace at last. But here, in this small room in this quiet town, Madison and Patricia Sullivan were writing a new story. One without live streams or headlines, without violence or betrayal. Just a mother and daughter building a life from the ashes of survival. The last live stream was over. The first real life had just begun. 10 years after, Madison watched 5-year-old Patricia play on the beach, building sandcastles with the focused intensity of an architect. Ryan sat beside her, their twin boys, 2 years old now, toddling after hermit crabs. "Mommy, look," Patricia called out. "I made a fortress. No dragons can get in." "That's perfect, baby." Ryan squeezed Madison's hand. "She's got your strength." And thankfully, nothing else from that side. Madison's phone, a different one now, under a different name, buzzed with a news alert. She almost ignored it, but the headline caught her eye. Blake Harper found dead in cell, apparent suicide. She felt nothing. No satisfaction, no sadness. Blake had been dead to her for years already. "You okay?" Ryan asked, seeing the screen. "Yeah, just the past refusing to stay buried." That night, after the children slept, Madison sat at her computer. For 5 years, she'd stayed silent, invisible. But Blake's death meant something needed to be said. She created a temporary account and posted a single message. To the survivors, the fighters, the ones still trapped. You are not alone. You are believed. You will endure. From someone who knows. Within minutes, it had 1,000 shares, then 10,000. Someone recognized the writing style, the message's cadence. "Is this Madison Harper?" comments asked. Madison deleted the account and closed the laptop. She'd said what needed saying. Patricia appeared in the doorway, rubbing sleepy eyes. "Mommy, I had a scary dream." Madison pulled her daughter close. "Want to tell me about it?" "There was a monster, but then I remembered what you taught me." "What's that, baby?" "Monsters are just bullies in costumes, and we don't let bullies win." Madison kissed her daughter's forehead. "That's exactly right." As Patricia fell back asleep, Madison thought about the journey that brought them here. The gender-reveal disaster, the poison, the ambulance birth, the trials, the years of therapy and healing. All of it led to this moment. Her daughter safe in her arms, her chosen family sleeping peacefully, her life rebuilt on her own terms. The last live stream had ended years ago, but the story, their story, would continue for generations. Strong, unbroken, free.